Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. So today we are going to see how to find the dipole moment of a given compound. So in the previous video I have talked about how to mathematically calculate the magnitude of dipole moment, which is given by the formula mu equals to charge into bond length. So for knowing that, please refer to my previous video. In this video, I'll be talking about the direction of dipole moment and how to find the dipole moment of a given compound. So, the direction of the dipole moment is always from the positive towards the negative ion. So, let's take the example of BeCl2 first in order to understand it better. BeCl2 is an ionic compound, and before trying to find out the dipole moment of a compound, it's always better to draw the structure of that compound for our convenience. Here, the diagram, the structure for BeCl2 is linear, and we can easily say that chloride ion is more electronegative than beryllium. So, the direction of the dipole moment in both the cases of both the atoms is going from the beryllium towards the chloride ion in both the directions, and this is the way we represent dipole moment, which is an arrow with a cross at the back side. So this is how we represent dipole moment in terms of direction, and it always goes from the positive towards negative ion. So we can easily see here that two dipole moments are in the opposite direction, and from our vector knowledge we know that when the vector is present equally and opposite on both the sides, it will be having the net vector as 0 or null vector. So similarly here we are having two dipole moments, which is a vector quantity equally and opposite on both the sides. So here the net dipole moment of this compound will be equal to 0. Next, we take another example. So this is an aromatic compound. Now let's see what will be the dipole moment of this compound. Here we can see that chlorine atom is connected to carbon in both the cases, and chlorine is more electronegative than carbon. We should just know the name of the first four most electronegative atoms, that is fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, and then chlorine. Fluorine has electronegativity 4, so it is the most electronegative element in the periodic table, and followed by fluorine we have oxygen, nitrogen, and chlorine. So here we are having carbon and chlorine, therefore chlorine is more electronegative than carbon. Therefore here the direction for dipole moment will be in this direction, that means from the carbon towards chlorine, and in here it will be again from the carbon towards chlorine. So in both the cases we are seeing that the dipole moments are making an angle of 60 degree. This is because in a regular hexagon the angle made is equal to 60 degree. Therefore the angle made by two vertices at the center is always 60 degree. So here they are making an angle of 60 degree, and as a result we can show the first dipole moment as this one, the other one is this one, with an angle of 60 degree in between. Therefore here the net dipole moment is not equal to 0, and here dipole moment will be equal to mu1 square plus mu2 square plus 2 mu1 mu2 cos 60 degree, because here theta is 60 degree, the angle between two dipole moments. But here, since we can see carbon chlorine dipole moments are identical, we can replace mu1 or mu2 as mu1. We can replace mu2 as mu1 or mu1 as mu2. Therefore, we will be having here mu1 square. I am replacing mu2 by mu1, 2 mu1 square plus 2 mu1 square again cos 60 degree, and finally we will be having some value of dipole moment which is not equal to 0. So this is how we have found out the dipole moment in this aromatic compound. Therefore, we have clearly observed from the first two examples that the angle made by the atoms with each other plays a very important role when we have to calculate the dipole moment. Here, the dipole moments which we have calculated, it is not based upon the mathematical formula, that is mu equals to qd. Rather, we are doing it simply by seeing the structure. If it is 0, then we don't have to calculate at all, but here the value of mu has to be found out by the mathematical formula, then we will be placing it here. For that, we will be provided with the bond length, and we have to calculate the charge on each of the atoms in each of the ions. For that, you can refer to my previous video. Let's take another example. We take the example of water and ammonia and compare their dipole moments. Both of these are sp3 hybridized, and therefore they will be having a tetrahedral structure. I am drawing the structure for water first. These are the lone pairs present in oxygen. Then this is the structure for ammonia with one lone pair in nitrogen. Okay, so here we can see there are two lone pairs in oxygen and one lone pair in nitrogen. Let's compare, let's try to find out the dipole moment in each of the compounds individually. So here oxygen is clearly more electronegative than hydrogen. Therefore, here the electronegativity direction, so the direction for dipole moment will be in this way, and in here it will be in this way. Okay, and whenever there is lone pair present, the dipole moment direction always goes in the direction of the lone pair. Listen to this point carefully. Whenever there are present lone pairs, the direction of the dipole moment goes always towards the lone pair. That means here the direction will be in this way, and here also in this way. So therefore we can see all the dipole moments are going in the forward direction. This too will be having some net in this direction. This too will be also having net in this direction. So net is in the upper direction. So here we can clearly say that the net dipole moment in this compound will not be equal to 0. Let's see in ammonia now. Here nitrogen is more electronegative. Okay, now hydrogen is present. Therefore, nitrogen being more electronegative from hydrogen to nitrogen in each of the three cases here, and since lone pair, so towards the lone pair. Okay, now what's happening in this one is, here also we can clearly see that the dipole moments are going in the upward direction. Therefore, here also we'll be having a net non-zero dipole moment. But I have told that we are comparing the dipole moments of both of them. We cannot say just by telling that this and this both of them are having non-zero dipole moment. For this we will have to know their values precisely. Just for your information, I am telling the dipole moment of water is 1.84 dBi, and of ammonia it is approximately equal to 1.5 dBi. So here we are seeing the dipole moment of water is more than the dipole moment of ammonia, slightly more. But why is this difference happening? We have seen that here also dipole moment all are going in the same direction, so the net resultant vector is in the upper direction. Even here we have seen the same. Then what is causing this difference? This difference is happening because of the fact that oxygen is more electronegative than nitrogen. So this is the only reason because of which water is having more dipole moment than ammonia. Oxygen being more electronegative than nitrogen, the dipole moment is more in case of water than in case of nitrogen. And please remember this, because many times questions have come from this particular concept. As I have already shown you, phone call, that means fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine. You can just remember it as phone call for your convenience. So we can easily see oxygen is more electronegative than nitrogen, therefore dipole moment of water is more than that of ammonia. Okay, now let's try to compare the dipole moment of different compounds when they are given to us together. Here we'll also try to understand what is the experimental and what is the theoretical or mathematical dipole moment. Okay, so here we can see chlorine. We have already discussed this recently, like this one. So here we have seen it is having non-zero dipole moment. Here also it will be non-zero, because dipole moment in case of fluorine will be in the upper direction. Here it will be in this direction, so non-zero total in this direction. Here it will be 0, because one is going in the upper direction, the other one is going in the lower direction, therefore it will be 0. So here we are having two cases of non-zero dipole moment and one case of zero dipole moment. But now we will try to understand that what is the difference between theoretical and experimental dipole moments. Okay, so by calculation it has been found out that the theoretical angle is 60 degree here. Here also it is 60 degree, and here it is 180 degree. Okay, so here I have written the theoretical value of the theta between the two dipole moments, which is equal to, let me show it with a different pen. Which is equal to 60 degree. Also here 60 degree, and here we can clearly see it's 180 degree. This is the theoretical value which we can say by our ideas about mathematical concepts, geometry and all. But now we have to see in experimental case the theta doesn't remain same in many cases. Like in the first one, chlorine, both of them are similar atoms, therefore they will show repulsion, because of which they will try to move apart from each other, they will try to move away from each other. As a result, this angle will not remain 60 degree, rather it will increase more, and because of which we get theta experimental more than 60 degree. This is in this case. Why it is happening? Because of the repulsion between chlorine. These are bigger atoms, bigger ions, so because of which they move apart from each other, trying to gain stability, because of which the theta experimental becomes more than 60 degree. In the next case, there is hydrogen bonding taking place between the hydrogen of OH and the fluoride ion. There is a kind of H bond formation here. As a result of the bond formation, fluorine and OH comes closer to each other, because of which the theta experimental doesn't remain 60 anymore, rather it decreases, so it becomes less than 60 degree. And in the last one we can see that there is no such kind of effects happening in the third one, because they are present completely opposite to one another. Therefore in the third one, theta experimental will always remain the same, will also remain the same, that is 180 degree. So this is how the difference occurs between the theoretical and experimental theta. Okay, and since there is difference in the theta theoretical and theta experimental, therefore there will be difference in the dipole moment experimental and dipole moment theoretical. So from here we come to know about two types of dipole moments. Two types of dipole moments. One is theoretical or mathematical, the one we calculate using formula, and the second one is experimental or practical, the one which actually exists. Two types of dipole moments, theoretical or mathematical and experimental. These two exist because of the differences in the angles between the different dipole moments in a compound. As a result, we can clearly say here that the theta experimental will be different and the dipole moment experimental will be different, and the dipole moment theoretical will also be different, because just like in this question we have observed, we have to make use of theta when we have to calculate dipole moment. So if the theta changes, dipole moment will also change. If the theta will be overall theta is more, then dipole moment will be more. If it is less, then dipole moment will be, if the theta is more, dipole moment will be less, and if the theta is less, dipole moment will be more, because here we always have to take the cos value, and we know that the value of cos theta decreases with increase in the angle. So dipole moment can also be told as dipole moment is inversely proportional to the theta present between the different atoms. So here, since theta experimental is more than 60 degree, therefore here mu theoretical will be more than mu experimental in the first case, because mu is inversely proportional to theta. Here it will be just the opposite. Mu theoretical is less than mu experimental, and here since theta is same, mu theoretical is equal to mu experimental. So this is why there exist two types of dipole moments. One is the theoretical and the other one is experimental, because of the differences in the angles that exist based upon what kind of effects are there happening in real.